What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Queen Boss Lady, and I'm back to do another testimony for you guys, and this is going to be part one. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel if you want to, if these testimonies resonate with you or the messages that I put out resonate with you. But if not, just thank you for your love and your support. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into... I want to just say this too, that I'm not here to bash nobody or shame nobody or humiliate nobody. That's not why I'm doing this. I know a lot. That's just not my intentions. My intentions is to be obedient to God, and He's telling me to give my testimony. And so that's what I'm doing. These people have had well over 20 years of talking about me, starting rumors about me, slandering my name, and putting me in very dangerous situations, even trying to murder me. So this is basically me solving my own case right in front of you guys, and me giving you guys my testimony of how I overcame it. But this is basically me solving my own case, but I'm alive. So, like I stated, I was born into a family full of witches, dark, black, evil witches, and full of warlocks. My mom and my dad, and I'm not going to refer to them as my mom and my dad. I'm going to respectfully call them by their last name. So Miss Johnson and Mr. Hester, they're a part of a secret society, a secret cult, and they're basically devil worshippers. So I'm going to be speaking on my brother who tried to have me set up and murdered, but it didn't work. As you can see, I'm here today to give my testimony. So my Miss Johnson and Mr. Hester is going to be the last one that, I talk about and fill you guys in on about. So I'm just going to try and stay on one person throughout my testimony so that it's easier for you guys to follow along and keep up and everything like that. But in the last one that I'm going to do is going to all tie together, so you guys are going to understand, like, wow, it all ties together. But to make it make sense right now, Ms. Johnson and Mr. Hester made it okay. They made it okay for my family to steal from me, come against me, compete with me. They were instructed to belittle me, cast me out, leave me out in the cold, and they would receive rewards for that. They got paid, they got taken care of, whatever needs they had, they were met. Even as teenagers, they would come up against me and laugh at me and pick at me and taunt me and, disown me, discredit me and everything. And in return, Miss Johnson would reward her children with whatever they needed, whatever they wanted, whether it be clothes, shoes, games, sports. I was about to say Nintendo 64s, but like that's the game that's coming to my head. I also want to say that, I'll say that in the last video, but I'm sure you guys can tell that I have forgiven these people because, forgiveness is for self, not for other people. So when I first met I'm going to call him Little Joe because my supposed to be father name is Joe too as well. So I'm going to call him Little Joe. Little dog. When I first met him, I just knew, like, we did not click. My spirit did not, it's very hard for me to dislike people. It's very hard, but it's like once I get this vibe from you that I know you're not a good person, like, I don't dislike you. I just I just won't fuck with you. I just won't mess with you. Like, you know. And when I first met him, like, that's the vibe that I got. So I never really tried to, like, click with him in any way, like, shape or form. I remember I was a little girl, and I don't remember who I was with, but I was at the corner store. Somebody had took me to the corner store to get me some candy. And I seen him, and I was like, hey, Joe. And I was like, that's my brother. And I got out the car, and I was like, hey, Joe. And he just looked at me. And I was like, hey, Joe. And he just walked in the store. Wouldn't even hold the door open for me or anything. So I found that strange. But, like, Big Joe would always bring them over to Miss Johnson's house to, like, you know, see me and my little brother. Like, you know, everything is an illusion with my family. You know, it was secret meetings going on. So he would bring them and act like, oh, we want our kids to know who, you know, their brothers and sisters are and stuff like that. But it was always a secret meeting going on about, you know, what they gonna do, how they gonna do it, how they're gonna work up the memento to do this and do that. And so, you know, that just confirmed, like, why I had this feeling like, you know, don't trust him, don't, you know, the vibe was really, like, always off. And so, like, we never really, like, clashed heads as kids. Like, I just kept my distance from him. Like, I was not, you know, even though my dad would bring him to see me, like, I still just kept my distance from him. And him and my sister was like this. Like, they was, like, stuck like glue together. And I'm gonna reveal to you in this testimony why. So he would just do certain things that and say certain things about me that just, like at first he wouldn't chime in with the other kids. Like, when they would pick on me, he'd be like, I ain't fucking with her. Like, that's what he used to say. Like, I ain't fucking with her. But, like, as we became, like, adults and stuff like that, like, he fell into the traps. Like, he was already in the secret society by picking at me and disowning me. Like, when he saw me in public, like, he was instructed to do these things. Like, and the thing about my family is they all have this gift where they can communicate, like, telepathically. Like he knew, like, he didn't have to ask my dad, like, oh, should we, you know, leave her out in the cold. Like, they knew what to do and how to do it because of how my mother set the tone and my father set the tone on how the family should have treated me. So if they would have treated me any differently, they would have been punished severely. And I'll get into that too later on as well, because people have been punished severely for trying to help me on my journey or trying to tell me who I really am on my journey or anything like that. So as we became adults, like, I was really distanced from him. I really still, like, you know, wasn't trusting him like that or trying to be around him like that. And I remember me moving in my first apartment, and my dad had bought me some furniture, and he was going to buy me a bed, but he went out of town. And so he instructed me to go over to my brother's house and get the money, and my dad would pay him back. And when I went over there to get the money, it's just like I walked into, like, a hellstorm. Like, he was mad that he had to give me $100, and he was just pissed off. He was going off. He was like, I don't know what the fuck you think this is, and blah, 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 blah. So by then, like, I feel like he had gotten comfortable with the magic they was doing on me, the witchcraft and everything, and me not really being in my full potential. But I always knew who I was. And I wanted to say this at the beginning of the video, but I forgot, but God just brought it back to my mind. My mother and my father and my whole family, my sister, my brothers, my dad, they all ruled me as mentally retarded. Okay, so that's very important in my testimony, and it's very important in me solving my own case. They would literally, it's like, if you have a problem, like if you got anything wrong with you mentally, physically, or spiritually, or if you got a mental problem, like especially as a child, but it's like they would coach me and condition me. It's like they were trying to persuade me and convince me that I was mentally retarded. It's like anything that I tried to do is like, you can't do that because you're mentally retarded. It's like they had to constantly remind me that I was mentally retarded, but they was really trying to convince me of that. And the reason why they ruled me as mentally retarded, because I was a very outspoken child. I was very happy. I was very, very happy. I wasn't too much hyperactive, but I did have a lot of energy. But they ruled me as mentally retarded because I told them when I was about 7 or 8 years old that I could see angels. And I had angels all around me. And once I said that to my family, to my siblings, they went and they told my mom. And I repeated myself, like, I don't see anything wrong with what I'm saying. So I'm scared this is gonna freaking fall. Like, so I'm gonna put it like that. So I didn't see anything wrong with what I was saying. So, but they did, because I said I can see angels, and I could. At the age of 7, I could see angels, and I could see like orbs around me. And I told my mom, like, I could see angels, and angels are all around me. And they ruled me as mentally retarded. So as a kid, like, everything that I tried to do, they would say, oh no, you're mentally retarded, you can't do that. Oh no, you're mentally retarded, you can't do this. And they just basically repeated what my mom and my dad had told them, anything that I tried to do. And it's like they used to just bash me over the head with that, like, repeatedly. So, like, I remember that. So as an adult, like I said, I just kind of like kept my distance from him. I never in this life ever trusted him. That was the first encounter we had, and like he kind of tried to like make it up. So one time for my 18th birthday, like, he let me use his rental car or whatever to just drive to the mall. Like, they would do that. Like, their mask would slip off, and I would be like, I knew this person was evil. Like, they'll do something, and I wouldn't be like in their face like I knew, but I just would, like, in my mind jot it down, like, okay, I knew what I was feeling and what God and my angels was telling me was right about this person. So they would always try to do a little something to try to make it up. So as I became like an adult, from 18 and a little up, like in my 20s and stuff like that, I did find myself like trying to be in my brother's life because he had kids, and I love my nieces and I love my nephews. And I was like, kids always love me. Like, even still to this day, kids love me. And that's another reason why I am being like, they try to frame me and do all this stuff, because I am meant to work with kids. Like, even as an adult, like, every position that I've had has been working with kids. So he would just try to like handle me. He really didn't want me to have a mind of my own. Like, he was still telling me I couldn't do certain things, I couldn't say certain things. You can't just say whatever you want to, you can't just do this. Like, I remember when God told me to change my name, and I did, and I let the family know, look, I changed my name, you can't call me that anymore. And his wife at the time, I told her first, and then she was like, oh, let me go tell your brother on you. Like, who is he? But that's how she said it. Like, it's like so many people in my family tried to be my handler, but they could not handle me. Like, she was like, oh, let me go tell your brother. And he comes storming in my house telling me that I cannot change my name to my middle name. Like, even if I did want to change my name to some exotic shit that wasn't not my name, still, I'm grown. I can change my name. And he was like, no, you cannot do that. You cannot change your name from what your mom and your daddy named you, and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, he has a nickname, Nature Boy, supposedly. Ain't never in no nature. So it's okay for you to have a miscellaneous nickname, Nature Boy. And it's okay for you to have, but I can't change my name to my, okay. So I was like, well, if you call me that name, you'll see what's gonna happen. And I left it just like that, and they started calling me the name that I had changed my name to. So another episode, it would be like times where I would hang out with them, and he would be like, oh, you can't hang with us if you don't do no ecstasy. Like, I was not into drugs. I was a weed smoker. I wasn't even a liquor drinker. Like, I would smoke weed, and that was my thing. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing, okay? So that was my main thing, like. But he would tell me, no, if you want to hang with us, you got to pop ecstasy. And I remember on 2 different occasions he did me like that. And, peer pressure, I'm not ashamed to say that I was peer pressured, and I took it. And, it was just, it was a bad decision, because he and his wife were the same people that would spread these rumors. Now, here I am. I'm trying ecstasy for the first time. No, the second time. With him and his wife that do it every day. And then all of a sudden, everywhere I go in the town, oh, she on drugs. People are coming back and telling me that I'm on drugs and blah, 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 blah. I love shades. I've always loved shades. Even as a little girl, I love shades. So I wear shades all the time. Oh, that's why you wear those big old shades, because you on drugs and stuff like that. All of these rumors and allegations and slandering and defamation of character, it all came from my dad, my mom, my brothers, and my sisters. So I was like, this one person that came and told me that I was on drugs and stuff like that, and they was like, yeah, your brother told me, so I know it's true. And I'm like, no, I tried it with them one time, and I had to try it because he said I couldn't hang out with them if I didn't. So that was just another incident. And just leading up to the day that, he tried to have me set up and unalived, he would just do certain things. Like, when I would fall, like, when I speak of me being homelessness, it's the same homelessness that I spoke of in the other video. But, like, he was nowhere around. When I fell, he was nowhere around to catch me. He didn't open his doors. Him or his wife didn't open his doors for me. They didn't call me, offer me a plate of food or anything. But then when I moved away and I was on my feet, like, his wife started trying to be this activist for the community. She wanted to get together with other people that did not help me, Mr. Fulton Wilson. She wanted to get with him and try to feed the homeless. That's what they do. So I kind of moved too fast forward on that. So let me just rewind it back. But they would just do things like that. And then when I would get on my feet, like, I would be like in and out of this magic. Like, this magic they would do on me. Like, I would come to, and I would know, like, damn, nobody's here for me. Nobody's showing up for me. So I'm all I got. Like, my family would do that. They would make it so, like, I'm so boxed in and squared in where I don't have no other options. And God would always send me an angel to help me in the situation that I was in. So I got back on my feet, and I remember calling him, and I just wanted to see him or whatever. And him and his wife came over, and it's like everything went down fucking hill from there. It's like he invited his friends, and then all his friends over my house, and then they're inviting other people pulling up and this and that. And it's like my house started, like, I don't like running my house like that. And it's like I felt like his brother-in-law was stalking me. And then that's another thing, like, I remember before I had my first child, like, I was riding through town. I was actually pregnant at the time. I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant. And me and my good friend, like, I can actually call her my friend because she was. Shouts out to Juvie. If you see this, like, you're one of my friends. Like, I can still call you my friend. We was just riding through the city, and I saw my brother, and I was like, oh, there go my brother. And I was like, you will turn around so I can just speak to him or whatever. And she pulled up. It was like the house was like in a gate. So like when I pulled up, I called his name. I was like, Joe. And he looked, and then I got out the car and I walked around the back of the car, and then he saw it was me. So he came, to me or whatever, and I gave him a hug, and I was like, hey. But it was so, like, his hug was so fake. Like, he really didn't even hug me back. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Like, I haven't seen you in a while. Like, and then, like, I just heard, bitch, fuck that hoe. And this bitch can get her motherfucking ass whooped and blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't think, and I didn't know that the individual was talking to me. Like, I really did not think this woman was talking to me. Like, I really didn't. I had no clue, but he did, and he kind of got like a smirk on his face. And then, like, when I noticed, I was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, she talking to me? He was like, yeah, she talking to you. Like, and he just started smirking and laughing, like, like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna fight her or what? Like, he did not stop her from cussing at me. He did not stop her from disrespecting me. He did not correct her. He didn't do anything. Like, he was like instigating it up. Like, so what you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do by her talking to you like that? I was like, oh, I was just stopping to speak to you. I'm finna get back in my friend car and go. And that's what I did. And that was the safest thing to do. Like, I was protecting my unborn child. I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant at the time, but I was not showing. And he knew that I was pregnant and everything like that. Like, she was even over there saying, like, I'ma stomp her fucking baby out of her. Like, she was going in on my ass, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, but it's like, you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them, because you can lose your life out here fighting. And, that's one of the times where I felt like he should have stepped up and been like, hey, you ain't gotta talk to my sister like that. Like, she just came by to speak. She ain't disrespecting your house. She not even on your property. We on the side of the road. We on the sidewalk. Like, she ain't disrespected you. Like, because this is his brother-in-law girlfriend. And me and the brother-in-law, we had dealings together. We had sexual relations with each other. But it was when he was broken up with her. You know what I'm saying? And when he became back with her, I did not, go behind her back and, be with her man or whatever. Like, we was only together when he was broken up with her, but still, she was still like bitter about that or whatever. But like, he could have stopped it, but he was instigating it. Like, so what you gonna do about her talking to you like that? And I straight up told him, I'm finna get in my friend car and I'm finna go. I just stopped by to speak to you. And it kind of hurt my feeling. And my friend was like, man, your brother a dirty, grimy ass nigga. Like, how he sit there. And like, my friend was like, get in the car, lady. And I listened to her. And so when I got in the car, she was like, man, your brother a grimy ass, dirty ass nigga. Like, how he stand there and let a bitch cuss you out, and you ain't even disrespect her home or nothing. And you pregnant. You pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You got his niece or your nephew in your belly. Like, nah, dog, your brother nasty, grimy. And I was just like, I was embarrassed, and I was embarrassed that she saw that my brother was a nasty, grimy person. So it would just be episodes like that, and it's like they would just invite other demons to join in with them. Like, his wife, she was okay with me, but then it's like she started following his lead. He would do stuff to me, and so she felt like it was okay for her to do stuff to me. Like, one time she brought me my nephew, and she was like, I don't know what to do with his hair. He had dreadlocks, right? I had never, and still to this day, I have never seen anything like this before in my entire life. He had dreadlocks. He's like 5 years old. He's like either 4 or 5 years old. And she brung him to me because I know how to do hair. Like, I know how to do hair. It's all, I'm mentally retarded, but I always did my mom's braids, her crochet. I always did my sister's hair and my hair, and you know, and other people in the family hair, and they never paid me. But I'm mentally retarded though. So, but I'm good enough to be used as the fucking Cinderella of the family when it's time to clean or cook, or you need a hairdo or something like that, or you need a real dependable babysitter that's gonna be not on drugs, not high, not drunk, and really in tune with what's going on, really play with the kids, really have fun with the kids or whatever. So she brought me my nephew one day and she was like, I just don't know what to do with his hair. Can you do it for me? And I was like, yeah. And I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I was like, yeah, just bring him by or whatever, and you could just drop him off and I'll do it, and you come pick him up or whatever. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. When she dropped him out and I started his hair, he had dreadlocks, and then he had like this much, I am not exaggerating, he had this much hair on top of the dreadlocks, new growth, so nappy. It smelled like piss, oil, throw up, everything from last year. I was like, so I didn't know what to do. Like, I've done dreadlocks before, but not in this case like this. So I washed it. I washed all the funk, all the gunk out, you know. But I still, like, when I took the comb and I tried to comb, it's like both of us started screaming. He like, ah! I'm like, ah! Because I do not like causing pain on kids. Like, no, if you ten-headed, I cannot do your child hair, none of that, because I'm going to cry, she going to cry, we going to cry together. So I was like, oh my God, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm a problem solver. Like, I have to solve this problem. Like, that's just how I am. I'm not a people pleaser, but I do get in my own way when I feel like I have to solve this problem. And I just do. I get caught up on that. I do. I'm guilty. And so I was like, oh, what if I cut through the new growth, but, you know, cut it in a, like, as like I'm trying to part it, and then that'll separate it, and then I can lock it up. And so that's what I did. I cut, and I was able to see scalp. I was like, whew, like, it was this much, y'all. It was so bad. And so I was able to relock his hair, retwist his hair, and, you know, I didn't cut any locks off, or I didn't cut any of the new growth off. I just simply cut, like, say you know, you trying to do the bottom row of the dreads. So I would just cut like that, and then I was able to separate all of the new growth and see his scalp, and then I was able to make a little part and then retwist all the new growth in with the lock. And when I was done, it was so pretty, it was so fresh and everything like that. And my nephew, he was like, yeah, auntie put scissors in my hair. She was cutting my hair when she was doing it. And they got mad about that. It was a big old fuss about that. And he was like, oh, why would you cut my child's hair and stuff like that? Like, they would just do shit like that. Like, put me in stupid situations to solve stupid problems just so they can talk shit about me. His brother-in-law robbed me, and he didn't say any fucking thing about it. His brother-in-law was like, if I can get some FedEx packages delivered to your house, I'll pay you, like, I think he said either $50 a package or $100 a package. So I was like, okay, you know, not thinking. I'm young, y'all. I'm like 23, so I'm not even thinking about what's in the packages, if it's drugs or not or whatever. But the packages came, it was 3 of them. So, you know, he owed me $150 or $300, whichever one it was, you know. And I called him. He came and got it, and I'm like, where's my money? He like, bitch, fuck you. You ain't getting shit from me, you clown ass bitch. And I was just like, whoa. So I told my brother he didn't do shit. He did not care or whatever. Once again, why would I expect him to care? It's like, that's what he's doing what he see y'all do. You know what I'm saying? So, leading up to the vacation. Like, I had just got paid, all my bills was paid, I had just went to the nail shop, got my nails done, and my brother just popped up to my house and he was like, oh, what you doing? I was like, nothing, just got my nails done and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, you gonna come out of town with us? Like, they always tell me what I'm gonna do. They don't never ask me or, you know, tell me ahead of time or anything like that. Like, he was just like, oh, you gonna come out of town with us? We going to Daytona. So I'm like, okay. So